in the East and The Ripper, and also Angel doing Tower. 2 songs picked by my very special guest hanging out for the show tonight, Vito Bratta, a guitarist from White Lion who has not done anything like this in over 15 years, just hanging, talking music, telling his story a little bit, and we're going to get more into that as the show progresses. We're also going to incorporate your phone calls right after the break. You guys that have been waiting for all these years, all these emails, everyone wants to talk to Vito. We're going to get you in here. So all the lines are jammed now. I'm not going to bother giving out the number, but when they do open up, 888-872-1043 is the toll-free line. Back with your phone calls, more music, more stories, more discussion with Vito Bratta, live in the studio right after this. Doing a little bit of a special show tonight, so we're not going to do metal news right now. We'll try to get to that a little later if there's time. But Vito Bratta is in the studio with us hanging out, and we want to get your phone calls in. It's funny, too, because Vito's sitting here picking all these records, and he wants to play, which we're going to work music in, too. But you know, you haven't talked, no one's heard from you in like 16 years. You know, we can hold off on a Priest song for this time,
All
you know?
right.
And now, you know, and you live right here, so now that you're back, you know, you can come and be my co-host anytime you want, you know?
All right, co-host.
So we've got to get, you know, people on that want to say hello to you, because this is, I'm telling you, I was in the city today, I ran into Bruno Ravel from Danger Danger on the street, comes up to me, first thing he says, Vito's coming on tonight, right? I mean, everyone's like, Vito's coming on. I was like, yeah, it's actually happening. So the first guy that we're going to get on the phone right now as we do this Vito Bratta, This Is Your Life moment, is the man who produced much of the White Lion recordings, checking in, I believe, from Nashville, if I'm not mistaken.
No, this can't be.
Producer extraordinaire Michael Wagner. Michael.
Hey, how are you
my
guys?
God, Michael. What are you doing?
What's going on, man?
This really feels like one of those like game show moments, doesn't it?
Really?
Totally, man. I got goosebumps.
Oh my God, how have you been?
I'm busy, man. I'm totally busy down here, stuck in Nashville.
Oh my God.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking to the man who mixed Master of Puppets, as well as countless other classic hard rock and metal albums. And for those of you that came to the Skid Row Halloween party last October, Michael was Michael was there as well. He came in and did the new Skids album and came in and hung out with us, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was great.
So,
it was great.
So you also were as shocked as anyone when you heard Vito was doing a radio interview, right, Michael?
Absolutely. I've been trying to find the guy for years, and here he is.
Do you have a check for me or something?
No, man, you're one of my favorite guitar players. Don't forget that.
Thank you. See, now, I mean, how cool is that compliment coming from this guy?
No, exactly. I mean, Ozzy, Metallica, goes on, Skid Row, White Lion, goes on and on.
The guys that, Michael, the guys that you've worked with, man, that's really a compliment. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. Your solos are some of the best all-time solos I've recorded, man.
Oh, thank you.
Give us a little story, Michael. Michael produced the Pride album, of course. It sold over 2 million copies, and also the album after it as well, Big Game. Michael, give us a little, while we got you on the line here, give us a little story from the studio back in the day when you worked with White Lion.
Oh, boy. Oh, man.
I know there's so many.
That's 100 years ago. Well, you know, what can I say, Vito? What's a good story to tell?
Is there anything that you stands out, or anything that you recorded that you remember, or anything?
Yeah, there's something we remember. Remember when we did Pride?
Right.
We were at Amigo Studios, and the door opens in the middle of us recording, and the guy walks in, looks around, and goes, "What's love got to do with it?" and then walks out.
You know,
Ike Turner.
Ike Turner walked in?
He walked in, and we're in the middle of recording a song. We all looked at each other, and immediately we didn't know who he was. And then he goes, "What's love got to do with it?" And then he walked back out, and we go, "What?"
That play, I mean, that studio was always somebody walking in and out, and, you know, that was the first time that we came out to California. And, you know, I mean, what did I know? I was stuck on Staten Island, and I'm standing, and all these people are walking in and out, you know, just major stars, and
and Al Cooper walks in and hands Vito a guitar, a black Strat.
Oh, yeah.
Vito plays a solo on it, and then Al Cooper goes, "Well, that used to belong to Hendrix."
Yeah, he brings in Jimi Hendrix's black Stratocaster, and he goes, "Here, use this for the album."
Hey, and that was rock and roll, wasn't it?
Unbelievable. I remember Michael said, you know, okay, we need to record the solos. And, Mike, you remember when you said, okay, go ahead, and I did the solo for Wait?
Yeah.
And I did it as a rehearsal, and you turned around and I said, okay, when are we going to do the
real thing?
The real thing.
And
you said, that was it.
And that's the solo on the record. One take, one go, man. That's what I'm saying. Some of my favorite stuff.
I remember I was so stiff. And, when I listened to the Fight to Survive album, I heard stuff that, what happened on Fight to Survive is I recorded like a basic track. And I says, well, later on, I'm going to come do the real guitar stuff. And then there was no later on. That was it.
A lot of times demos and first takes are better than what ultimately ends up coming on there. Don't you agree, Michael?
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
So I went into the studio to do Pride, and I was recording the same way. I says, let me record like a bass track, just nice and basic. And Michael Wagner was the guy who says, what are you doing? You can't play like that. Just play. And I never would have played any of that stuff if it was Michael pushing me to do that.
Well, Michael, we got a ton of people that want to jump on and talk to Vito, as you could imagine. But
absolutely.
I appreciate you calling in. You're working on the new King's X record right now, right?
Yeah, we're right in the middle of the record doing 15 songs, and it's coming out amazing. For every King's X fan out there, watch out. This is going to be a big one.
Well, I love the last record that you did with them as well. I thought it was one of my favorites in a long time from them. So tell the guys I said hello, and I don't know, I think we're going to have to soften Vito up a little bit along the way here. Maybe get you two guys in the studio again somewhere down the line.
I would love that.
Well, Michael, I'll get a hold of you.
I got your info. I got his info.
Ed got all my info.
I'll call you.
Cool, man.
Michael, thanks for coming on. It was great hearing from you.
Vito.
Take care of yourself.
And you.
See you, Michael.
Bye-bye.
I still want you to come up here and sit in with us one of these nights.
I know. As soon as I get out of the studio, we'll do that.
Talk about the stories this guy's got. He was in Accept, for God's sakes. That alone we can talk about.
It's unbelievable.
I'll see you, Michael.
All right, talk to you guys later.
Take care, Mike.
Legendary producer Michael Wagner.
Oh my God! How did you manage to do that?
Well, again, when the word went out, you were coming in over the last week. He was one of the guys that called me immediately. He's like, I gotta talk to Vito. Give me a number.
This is amazing.
So I have no more surprise. Anything else that happens truly is a surprise besides regular callers, because I didn't line up.
The guy's an Accept. He does Master of Puppets, and like I said, to work with him.
No, I didn't line up like your old accountant or anything like that. So
please.
All right, let's get some folks on that want to talk to you now and see where we're going to begin. We're going to go out to Miami and talk to Eddie. Eddie.
Hey, Vito, how you doing?
Hey, Eddie, how are you?
Good. How you doing, Eddie?
I'm good, thanks, man.
I've been harassing you for months about Vito and stuff, and I had a question for Vito. First of all, Vito, I'm sorry to hear about your father passing away last year.
Thank you.
That everything's well, that your family's doing well.
Thank you.
I had a couple of questions for you. I'll go through them quickly, and then I'll wait for you to answer them. First of all, I saw your picture on Metal Edge magazine on a Civil War project you were working on with John Levesque. Does that project still exist? Will it be released anytime soon?
Oh, well, actually, you're reminding me, because I forgot that there was actually a name, I guess. Civil War was going to be the band, and John Levesque, that's right, from Wild Horses.
Yes.
No, that was in 1990. That was when White Lion broke up. That was 1992, 1993. That's not going to happen.
All right,
Did you record anything? Did you actually record stuff? Was it demos, or what was it?
No, it was just demos.
Demos?
Yeah.
All right, I have 3 other questions for you.
Eddie, real quick, a ton of people are waiting here.
Okay, about Mike Tramp, do you see any time in the future you guys reuniting and taking White Lion out on tour again? And what's your take on the whole Tramp's White Lion band that he has together right now?
This is the first caller you get opens up the major can of worms.
Hey, look, this is something that you might as well get it out of the way. We might, people want. I mean, this is something that everyone listening wants to know what you're going to do if you're going to do anything.
As far as working with Mike Tramp again and doing the White Lion thing, I've never said no to anything. I've said no for certain reasons. Things have happened in my life where I've had to say no to people, to say, listen, I just can't do this right now, and there were reasons behind it.
I don't want to pry, and I don't want you to go there if you don't want to go there. But one of the things, and I've been saying this for a long time when people have asked me, with this look of astonishment of, the guy is such a great guitar player, how is he not doing anything? And, I don't, people that are personal friends like you are and others, I'm not going to divulge personal business on the air. I draw a line there. But a lot of the reasons why you had to not perform in the last 15 years are, to me, incredibly admirable reasons, and reasons you should be extremely proud of. And I think that, you shouldn't, I just want people to know that I think what happens is that we're such fans of musicians, whether people are fans of you or you're a fan of this band or whatever, that fans forget, like you and I, that there's a human side to this, that these people have families and other commitments. They only see you or anyone, whether it's Steven Tyler or Eddie Van Halen or whatever, as these entertainers that they want output from. They don't see them as people that have a mother, a father, a brother, a sister, whatever, that there's a human connection there, and there's stuff that goes on in people's worlds that takes precedent over that. And, I'm not going to get into it anymore unless you go there at some point, but that really, in a nutshell, is what you were dealing with. I talked to you through a lot of the stuff you went through. And you should be really proud. I mean, of people ask me, I'll equate it like this, and then I'll shut up. People ask me all the time for years, the last 4 or 5 years, about a guy that you and I both know and you played with and I've known forever, Ace Frehley. And people say all the time about Ace, they're like, my God, it's been so long, the guy's not doing anything, he's not touring, whatever. Well, look, Ace has been on this show. Everyone knows that Ace has battled substance abuse. This has nothing to do with your issues, but, I mean, Ace's issues is substance abuse. Now, to me, on the human side of it, as a friend, I'd much rather see Ace be healthy and not drunk and clean and clear like he's been for the last few years than have him be a wreck and jeopardize his life by going back into the rock and roll lifestyle if he's not ready yet. So that's the whole point in a nutshell. Everyone has things going on. You had stuff going on for a long time within the dynamic of your family, and that's something that, what you did, I mean, your reasons are really, really admirable. I really have a lot of respect for it.
Well, I appreciate all of that. My father had a 5-year illness. It was just a nightmare, and there was no one who was going to take care of him except for me and my mom, and that's what we did to the very end.